Terra's Story, Chapter 33. The worst is the character of the being behind this blackmail, or whatever you want to call, holding an entire city hostage. Simeona sighed. I say being because he's lost any connection to his humanness. He's been working with demons so long he's merged with them, taken on their vibration. She shuddered. All because he wants power. He's traded his soul for the ability to do black magic, which does indeed include mind control. He can do many other things, too. And ironically enough, by having him in prison, you've given him the perfect alibi to avoid any further prosecution. He's got plenty of time to practice his black arts, and he's smart enough to design experiments that continually refine his control of energy and consciousness. So you have two threats here. The being you call Mad Marius, who truly is mad, by the way, and the demons who are working him. And working through him. Can you tell if he's given us everything we need to restore services? Cap ventured. We'd hoped to have the power on by midday, and look, we're still dark. Simeona shook her head. No, you can't tell, or no, he didn't give us everything? Cap asked, his frustration showing. When she looked him in the eye, hers were sad. I see things dark for a while longer. It's about the money, taking it somewhere away from here and keeping everybody frantic about the power until they do. Who is taking it? Did you get a hit on where it is? Marius is still in prison, so who's doing the legwork? Cap was getting wound up again. Terra interrupted. Mamo, if I give you some names, can you tell us who is involved in this crime? She asked, putting a hand on Simeona's forearm to get her attention. Not waiting for an answer, she swiped around on her cell phone until she found the list she wanted. Doc? She waited, watching Simeona's face. Bucky. Pause. Watch. Mac. Simeona shuddered. They're all evil. The energy around them is dark and muddy, violent too, and they're all being controlled, though they think they are the controllers. Terra continued with the names on the list Handy had given her. The atmosphere suddenly felt heavy and oppressive. Simeona turned toward Terra and grabbed her by the arms. Han, be careful. Don't hesitate to shift when you feel danger. Your Mo is your protection. And don't be afraid to call on Mama for help either. She'll be right at your side immediately, in whatever way is most useful at the time. Remember, we all got different gifts. I can see, but Mama can do. That spiral she made with you, water below, light above, fused by lightning, she illuminated the energetic trails across dimensions so I could see the tracks. Also the trails of... She waved her hand toward Terra's cell phone where she stored the list of suspects. The trails of these demon spawn who had the ransom money. No one noticed her use of the past tense. Simeona, Joan ventured, her voice soft and hesitant. What about these individuals whose, well, was it their consciousness that was taken over or their bodies? Like Cap here, the mayor, and Lieutenant Call Jameson? Can it happen to them again? Are there some kind of implants in them now that respond to a remote signal that controls them? Will their minds work the same as before these episodes, or will they not function the way they did before? Cap leaned in, especially curious about her answer. It depends on the will of the person, Simeona replied. You know that hypnotized people cannot be made to do anything that directly contradicts their values? That raises the question of how the 12 officials could be made to pick up ransom money and take it somewhere. Were they sort of hypnotized, and if so, how was the story reframed to make it acceptable to these people who are supposed to be honest, law-abiding officials? Then, beyond the issue of values, there's the question of how easily their will can be overridden, and at what cost. She looked at Cap. I might be able to tell you more if I'm in the person's field. Like if you have one of those rooms where you can watch someone being questioned, behind the mirror I could observe and sense into their status. Damn! Cap exploded. Instead of getting simpler, and hopefully closer to the end of this nightmare, things just seem to be getting more complicated. Damn! The money, Simeona, where is it? Brian's words brought them all back. It's out there. She pointed to the lake, that lightning bolt. Mama transported it through that portal you created. The thieves don't have it anymore. But, Cap trailed off, his mind racing to fear and to the city's need for electricity and water. Simeona, the power's not back on yet. What if these creeps, we don't know if we have all the information to restore. Oh, Captain Gallagher. Simeona's bearing had stiffened, and now she spoke formally, her voice different, her accent different, her manner of speaking different. They all stared. You are right to be concerned. Surely you didn't expect people who play with demons to have any kind of honor? Or honesty? Tsk, tsk, tsk. So naive after so many years on the force? And do you think you can spy on me in the ethers without my noticing? Simeona's eyes rolled so far back in their sockets that only the whites showed. This one is subtle, but I've been at this longer. And of course, I have supernatural allies that detest the stench of healers like this one. That other one, though, the voice hissed, that fucking moo. She stole my money and hid it in another fucking dimension? Or another location in this one? You wretched. Simeona's mouth had tiny bubbles of froth trickling down one side. Terra was on high alert, her jaw tight and her fists clenched. Which Mo does he mean? Me or Mama? We made the whirlpool together, but it was Mama who called the lightning. Still, she shivered at the threat. She glanced over at Brian and Joni, who were moving cautiously toward her and Mamo. Brian's eyes flashed with rage, and Joni looked ready to chew nails. All three started moving toward Simeona, who suddenly slumped in a heap, as though dropped by a puppeteer. She sat stunned, then clambered to her hands and knees, hoisting herself from the ground and looking around, fury in her eyes. You cannot have my mind or my body, she shouted, then burst into a fit of coughing. When it subsided, she looked around at them. I'm sorry, it snuck up on me. It won't happen again. Now I know that energy, I'll be able to confront it. She rubbed her arms. Right now I need to get back to home. I need to wash this yuck off me, either in the ocean or, she paused, considering, a certain sacred cave. She turned to lock eyes with each of them, waved, and disappeared.